Greetings to you. I am Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is a special message to all of my friends in the rap community. My enemies have been stalking me and my work in the various cities that I have spoken in to advise us about the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, titled Justice or Else. And in many of my lectures, as I meet with the rappers, the pastors, the activists, the organizational leaders, and the common people, I have been watched by members of the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith. And in their stalking of me and watching those who embrace me, I've noticed that if you come and sit with me and I give you good counsel, good advice, the next thing I know, my brother rapper has been arrested. Such was the case of Young Jeezy after he visited with me, after Sean Puffy Combs visited with me, after Rick Ross visited with me, and we embraced each other, and 2 Chainz and Young Thug. All of a sudden, they've done something wrong with the law. I say to my brothers and sisters in the rap community, this demonstrates to me the fear of the enemy who has covered me up for 20 years, not allowing me on their major television stations, not allowing me to be interviewed, and stopping me from talking in the various colleges and universities, never wanting me to speak to our young people. But after 20 years, I have been speaking now in colleges and universities, and they listen very carefully to every word that I say. And recently on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, when they see my brothers and sisters embracing me, they shudder with fear that the voice of the minister is now reaching the young people. The Breakfast Club interview opened a big door. Then the Sway interview, now Big Boy. Now others want to speak with the minister, and I certainly want to speak with them. What have I said that has you so upset? I'm speaking now to my enemies. Some have even written to me in text messages saying, look at Farrakhan, he's with these thugs, these immoral, these vile speaking rappers. You should be ashamed of yourself. My mission is the transformation of human life, particularly black, brown, and red life. So when you see me sitting with those who may have broken the law or been vile in their speech and degrading women in their talks and promoting thug life, don't be upset, because it's written in the scriptures that Jesus sat with the publicans and the sinners. And when his critics said, "Why are you sitting with them?" Jesus said, "Is it not the sick that need a doctor? My people have been made sick in their journey in America under the sickest human being of all. The raper, the robber, the murderer, the kidnapper. This is who my people have been raised by, reared by. So when you see me sitting with my people, mind your business. I speak to them as their brother and as their spiritual father." So I want to say to my great rapper community, if you know that when you visit with me or take a picture with me, it upsets them, I know that they're trying to put fear into you. Don't associate with Farrakhan. Don't give him the value of your image and the millions of followers that you have. Why not? Why shouldn't they hug their brother, listen to their brother, admire their brother for standing up for them? You certainly don't stand up for them. They are not your business, they are mine. So leave them alone. Your day is fast approaching, when the evil that you have poured on my poor and suffering people will be poured double, triple, quadruple on your own. How you treat me. And be careful how you treat those who want to come to me, that I may relieve them of the mental burden of your wickedness that you have imposed on us. And so, my brothers and my sisters, this is a sign to you. We've got to clean up our act. Be careful, because the enemy is setting traps for you, doing things that will anger you, doing things that will upset you, so that if you react in a natural way to fight with those who fight with you, or to stand up against those who are doing evil to you, then this is a way now to arrest you, to charge you with some wicked crime, to put you into prison. Well, soon they will be in a condition where none will be able to get them out of the chastisement of our God who is present. So when you come to me, know that I love you, and know that I want to see you and your life transformed. When you leave me, know that they're trying to find a way to hurt or to harm you. So go and wash, as Jesus said, and be clean. Clean up your life, clean up your act, and let us come together as never before, and let the enemy see that we are united for 10-10-15, the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, where the theme is justice or else. So to all my family of rappers and artists and musicians and sports figures, join me in Washington. I need your help. Ask those millions that follow you on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Ask those who look to you. Tell them, I'm going to be with Farrakhan on 10-10-15, and I want all my followers to do the same. Let us move on to Washington and demand the justice that we rightfully deserve from those who have the power to give it or grant it. But I must say, we're not coming depending on you, because if you don't give us what we deserve, which is justice and equity, then the Lord of creation says in the Bible, the battle is not yours. He's talking to you and me. The battle is mine. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So when I say justice, I'm going to tell you what justice is. And when I say or else, we will tell you all about that and introduce you to the God of justice, who will demand of you and force you to give us what we demand or take it all from you. Thank you for listening, and may Allah bless you and grant you all his peace. I hope to see you all again, and I hope to see you in Washington, D.C., 10-10-15. The cry is justice or else.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to the one God, whose proper name is Allah. And we thank him for all of his prophets and messengers from Abraham to Muhammad. And we give him a personal thanks for his intervention in our affairs as Black people here in America. We thank him for finding and searching among us, finding one worthy among us in the first instance, in the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank the two of them, Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for not leaving us comfortless, but giving us a leader, a teacher, a guide, a brother, and a true friend in the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet all of us once again in our nation greeting of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. I am a student in the ministry class under the divine professorship of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we are on a program doing one more installation. We're about installation, in a program that's been airing now, I think a little bit, maybe over 3 years. And I want to thank the programmer, production manager, and owner, a young man who owns his own independent production studio. He is a self-appointed, for lack of a better word, but self-appointed out of the spirit of Allah through his journey and travel under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, for us to get up and do something for ourselves. So this young brother, Stephen Muhammad, in a platform called Black Sage Productions, Stephen Muhammad Knowledge for Life, and he goes throughout our community, covering all of the significant events in the lives of our people and archiving them, so we can tell our story and not read it on the mainstream media, who never tells our story correctly, vilifies us, lies on us actually, and calls it news, and wonder why their own people say that their news is fake. We want to thank this young brother for putting this program together and working in cooperation with his nation to bring us guidance from other students, other brothers and sisters from all over our nation, including overseas from places like London, England, etc. I want to thank Brother Stephen Muhammad for his work with me on this program. I hope in the waiting room is one of my brothers, soldiers in this cause. He is the student regional representative or minister of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan out there on the West Coast in Los Angeles. He dresses the part. He looks the part. He's a Hollywood star. We're trying to get his star on the Walk of Fame, but we ain't got there just yet, but we working on it. But he is a star. He is a star. Make no mistake about that. With that said, I see my brother is online. He is over a whole region, so his schedule is absolutely busy, but we thank him for honoring us. He has been in this city on more than one occasion, and he left it better than he found it. He is a true, in my judgment, of course, you know, everybody got their opinion, but this is mine. And mine is bond in this city. I believe he is one of the best representatives or student ministers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm proud to walk with him as we both walk with that man that is the Jesus of this hour, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, my brother and my friend. I will introduce to some and present to others, Brother Student Minister Malik or Malik Sayyid Muhammad. Thank you, my brother, for coming aboard.
All praises are due to Allah. Thank you for having me, brother Student Minister Donell, man. It's, you know, when you reached out and I saw it was you, there was no way, no way I could not come and share anything that you thought I had to give to those who listen to you. And I say that you too, from my little viewpoint, is one of the best student ministers and representatives of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the hardest work given to any man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the annals of history was given to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and now to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and those of us who followed them.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm honored to be on your show with you, dear brother.
Thank you, sir.
I'm in the sinful city of Las Vegas, and I'm just coming from several meetings and things, and I had to get past all of those card tables, and I almost stopped at the roulette table, but I couldn't do it, man. You know.
As long as you hit for something, bro. As long as you hit for something.
Oh no, brother. Those, you know, whatever you do in Vegas, just stay in Vegas. Brother. But honored, man. You know, all jokes aside, just honored to be with you, dear brother.
And thank you, brother, for honoring us with your presence. Brother Minister Malik, we really the table is open. But one of the questions that we usually ask of every guest before we can proceed is that what did the first God have for dinner? Was it Asiatic bean soup or just plain bean soup with onions? And what is the power behind the sun that Master Farad Muhammad warned the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of? If you ask him again, he would leave him. I just know you have the answer somewhere in a box or something.
Well, brother, you just hit me. I have no answer. You know, what was the first meal of the first God? It was Cheerios. You can't tell me it wasn't because neither one of us was around to see what he was eating.
There was Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. They were great.
Oh
All
no,
right.
dear
Yes,
brother.
sir, brother.
But thank you, brother. Thank you for that humor. But that's a good one, man. I mean, if I had to answer for that, brother, shoot,
So you be
I'd walk out of Vegas a billionaire.
we were talking about, as I viewed you on I believe our brother student minister Willie Muhammad out of New Orleans. And it was a tearjerker even for me when you first came to Mosque Mariam and presented during the Nipsey Hussle assassination, you might as well say.
Mm-hmm.
And but what it revealed, not only did it reveal his greatness, but it also revealed to the world the work that Allah had blessed you to do with the gangs, with the pastors, with the leadership, with the city. And in reality, you did it not necessarily by carrying a flanks of soldiers with you many times, as you described. You went out there on your own with the love of God and knowing that you were always flanked by our personal Lord and Savior. You had Master Farah Muhammad at your back, Minister Farrakhan on your right, the Honorable Muhammad on your left, and you just went on into the community and did what you had to do.
Mm.
So we would like for you to share with us your thinking and the guidance of Allah to you, and what principles can we extract from that, and that whole biker thing with bikers that never rode together ever. But because you said you would ride one if they would train you how to do it, and you did it, and you brought all the bikers together, you just seem to have a blessed gift from Allah in terms of bringing fractured communities together, including with the clergy as well. Could you give us some advice to us fellow believers, fellow students in the ministry, of your journey and your mind that Allah helped you to be able to see into and then apply? And I know most of it had to be backed by your love of Allah, his servant, and your people. But tell us your journey, your mental process, and what we can do to make our own cities better in terms of relationships with our people and others.
Wow. Thank you, Brother Donald. First, I want to thank Almighty God, Allah, Master Father Muhammad. I want to thank him for raising the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, whom we know to be the Mahdi. And
Yes,
I
sir.
have to thank Allah for the man that saved my wretched life,
Yes, sir.
the man that pulled me out of the sea of sin and pulled me off the junk pile made by Caucasian people called niggers.
Right.
He dusted me off. He didn't judge me. He helped to clean me up and shine me up. And he started restoring my real self to me and telling me who I really am in relationship to God. That man is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who looked past my faults and
Yes, sir.
tended to my needs.
Yes, sir.
And because he never judged me, he knows how to talk to people. When he meets you, he don't see a dope dealer or a gangbanger. He sees a God.
Yes, sir.
And I have to thank them for that. And you know, dear brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when I came to the nation and gave up some of the things that I did, I remember when I first met him. And he looked, because at that time I was bringing 30, 40, sometimes 50 guests to the mosque every week.
Yes, sir.
Up to the most I brought at one time was about 130. I was a local sports hero in college at Morris Brown. So I knew a lot of people
Yes, sir.
before coming into the nation. And when I came to the nation, I didn't want to meet the minister until I had brought in over 10,000 people.
Wow.
But because of my work, he heard of my work and he wanted to find out who is this Tony 3X, because I used to be Tony 3X.
Yes, sir.
And he was coming because he spoke at the Omni. It's called Add It Up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, it was before that. I'm sorry. It was, he came, it was Power at Last Forever.
Okay.
And I'm out selling papers and selling tickets, and the brothers come to me and they say, man, Minister Farrakhan want to meet you. And I said, oh, no, sir. I hadn't been in the nation but about maybe 90 days.
Yes, sir.
And I said, oh, no, sir, brother. Tell him with all due respect, I'm good, man. I love him. And the brother said, man, are you kidding me? Get your butt in this car. How you going to say no, brother? I'm not asking you. This is an order. I'm scared, man. I get in the car and the brothers take me to the room. At that time, Brother Khalid had become the minister. And when I walk in the room, he looked at me. He said, oh, I know this brother. And he asked me what year I was born. And I told him, and he said, oh, yeah, that's about right. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to me that all of those born after 1955 was born to hear me.
Yes, sir.
And then he said, brother, you are a natural. He said, the circumstances around your mother, your life, all of that was put into you as a child. He said, some people have to be trained to love Black people. Some people naturally are born with it. He said, you are one of the natural ones. And he said, now, what is your name? I said, Brother Tony 3X. He said, oh, no, you are no more that. You are Tony Muhammad. And then he sat me down, Brother Donald, and he just started almost like prophesying. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what?
Yes,
He
sir.
said, no, brother,
Praise due
you
to
are
Allah.
natural. He said, here's what I want you to do. Watch me, study me. See, and I studied him. He said, the way you see me go, you go. And you know, Brother Donald, like man, I ain't never met a man who loves Black people the way the minister loves us.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
I watch people walk and get in his company and start straightening themselves out because instantly you know this is a man of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a fact.
So my wife would tell you, I watched him. I used to listen to his tapes. I used to go to sleep with his tapes playing. And I begged to God, help me to help Black people. And because I'm from Georgia, you know, it's a lot of oppression in the South.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So everything that I do, I learned from watching how the minister handles brothers in the street.
Yes, sir.
And I remember when we first brought some gang members or members from the street to the minister, I thought he was going to be highfalutin. And the minister was so down to earth, it blew them brothers away because I thought you had to be highfalutin. And the way I saw him handle gang members blew my mind that I didn't have to fake it. He said, brother, just be a brother to them.
Yes, sir.
That's how I learned. That's
Yes,
where
sir.
my lessons came from. Now, I already had a natural gift
Yes,
to
sir.
love.
Right.
I had a natural gift to serve. But I had to be critiqued, you know, and shaped.
Yes, sir.
And I got that way by watching. I was, you know, back in them days, Brother Donald, in the 80s, we got to be around the minister a lot.
Right, right, right. That's a fact.
So I'm watching, I'm a student watching him, and I beg God, give me an inkling of that man's spirit.
Yes, sir.
And that's how, you know, I developed certain characters, you know, and as I'm fighting my demon, I'm developing certain characters.
Yes, sir.
And then 9 years later, Minister Farrakhan said, you know, I always had a city for you. He sent me to Los Angeles. I was never a minister, not even an assistant minister over any mosque.
Right, right.
And my first assignment, I assisted Brother Jamil for maybe 2 months.
Yes, sir.
Because most of the time in the nation, I was kind of out. And so he sent me to Los Angeles. And he said to me, brother, go to the streets because God has blessed you. They naturally attracted to you. You have a way of talking to our people and they don't sense phonyism.
Right.
He said, don't let me.
Oh, he went away.
Yeah, he got knocked off somehow. Hopefully, he'll be able to reconnect.
He got disconnected. Yeah.
Here he's coming back on now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, he got knocked off briefly.
Oh, here we
the
go.
enemy, man, he can't take the truth, brother.
That's right. That's right. They're always meddling. Yeah,
you know, I'm one of the top 10 anti-Semites in the Nation of Islam.
Well, yeah, I saw that spread, brother. I saw the spread.
But anyway, the minister coached me, Brother Donell.
Yes, sir.
I would go to the streets and I would call him and I would tell him what I experienced. And he would say, yeah, well, do this or do that. Then he told me, stop calling me, brother. You got it naturally. And so I fell in love with the bangers. It took me a while to win them because the minister told me, he said, look, brother, you're going to have to go through hell to win their trust.
Right.
You got to be consistent to win their trust.
Yes.
Just coming to them one time with an entourage of FOI talking about you this or that, he said, many before you was robbers and thieves. See?
That's right.
He said, then he asked me, can you take being evil spoken of? And I lied, yes, sir. See? He said, can you take a cussing and give back a blessing? Yes, sir. He said, if you can do that, you will win the streets, but stay there. See? And that's what I did.
Yes, sir.
I watched how the brothers react when we would come up with the FOI. I would listen to them, yeah, you just like the other ones. Then I would hear the brothers say, oh, you're here to get, what did they say? You're here to win from our stress and stripes so that you could say you helped us. I said, no, sir. And so going every day. And let me tell you, most of the gang members in LA in the first 3 years rejected me.
Yes, sir.
They would ask me to leave their hood. Brother, we want you out of here. I would say, no, not in a punk way. I would say, yes, sir, brother. I said, but I'll be back next week. And I would come back the next week. They asked me to leave. I kept coming back. And they'll tell you, they said, man, this dude wore us out. See? Because I knew that a lot of people try to use the gang members. A lot of people try to come and organize them to say they did something.
Right.
And I would meet with the gang members and I would say, brother, do you know who you are? Yeah, I'm a killer. I said, no, that's what you call yourself. No, brother, you are God. You are general. I never called them gangbangers. The minister say, don't talk into their condition. Don't even see their condition. See the God in them. Talk to that part of them.
Yes, sir.
So I never talked to a gang member. I'll always talk to them as if I was talking to God.
Yes, sir.
And I would tell them, dude, man, you always talking about somebody, a general. I said, brother, ain't all these brothers following you? How many homies follow you? About 80. I said, well, you got more men than some platoons. So you're a general. I said, the only problem, brother, if you had guidance, do you know what you could do? See? Because sometimes we in the Nation of Islam, as the ministers, we think we can convert people. The minister disabused me. He said, brother, you have no power to convert. Right. Only God can convert. Right. See? So I don't try to convert people. I try to connect with people. If I can connect with you and be a good brother to you, that in and of itself
is the catalyst for you to become yourself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See?
Yes, sir.
Because you can't convert black people to what they already are by nature.
Right, right, right.
You can just bring it back to their remembrance and so they can accept it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just being honest. I made mistakes, Brother Donald. I used to overpromise and couldn't deliver. See? And the gang members would get upset and the minister would say, brother, do not go out there and say anything beyond your ability to do.
Right, right, right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See? So I would make mistakes. I'm going to do this for y'all. I'm going to do that. And I wouldn't do it. Or I couldn't get it done. See? And I've had gang members to tell me to leave. But that consistency.
Yes, sir.
And after a while, some of the gangs would get attacked by the police and I would show up with the brothers. And we would stand between the police and the guns, and the gangbangers would be like, wow, homie, y'all came and did this for us. See,
yes,
you
sir.
my brothers. See? And I would do it in different hoods. And that's how I began to win them. And they would start calling each other, man, y'all know this dude, Muhammad, man, he's a good brother. And I would show up sometimes by myself.
Yes, sir.
To different hoods. Look, it's over 1,500 different sets in LA. I've visited at least 800 of them.
Yes, sir.
800 different sets, sitting down with them in the park, in the confines of what they're comfortable with, never bringing them to the mosque. One day, a brother said, man, you're a phony. I said, well, why would you say that? You don't never ask us to come to the mosque. I said, brother, I'm at the mosque. Right now, I'm a walking mosque. I don't need to take you to a building to take you to a mosque. And then I would do what the minister tell me to do. He said, brother, when you tell a man what he can't have, he wanted more.
Right.
He said, because this is the generation, brother, the Joshua generation, and you have to use some reverse psychology. I said, look, let me tell you something, brother. You might be a good Crip or good blood, but you ain't ready for no FOI now. You got to really be a soldier to accept this. I said, so no, brother, you ain't ready for the mosque. I said, but here, the mosque, every Sunday, here's where I teach. And brother, as God is my witness, brothers will tell you in LA, you see 20, 30 of them brothers show up just to prove to me that they wasn't scared to come. So I just use reverse psychology, and then I let them know when I'm in your hood, I'm at the mosque. See? And so, because it wasn't about coming to the mosque, because in LA, some of them brothers risk their lives coming to the mosque because they got to drive through some of their enemies' neighborhood just to get to the mosque.
Right.
So the minister told me, no, you got to be the farmer, brother. You got to go to them and spread the seeds, because it's hard for gang members to come to mosque in different cities because your mosque may be sitting in their arch enemy's hood.
Right, exactly.
So the last thing there, brother, the caveat to me that did it all is when I almost lost my life to the police officers. It was in our Final Call newspaper years ago when I went to a gang shooting where a brother was murdered. It was right after we had protested the LAPD, who killed a 14-year-old boy for joyriding, shot him over 70 times.
Wow.
Well, I protested the police with the community, and for the first time in LAPD's history, they was found guilty of excessive force. 2 days later, the Rolling 60s neighborhood, the neighborhood that Nipsey grew up in, one of the homies got killed. Nipsey Hussle was 11 years old. Now, I didn't know no Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
He's 11 years old. He wasn't the great rapper at that time, but it was in his hood. So I come over there with the brothers 2 days. Now I'm on the front page of all the newspapers. I come to do a prayer for the young brother that was murdered by another gang. And the police showed up and almost hit some of those at the vigil. And I stepped out of the crowd to question the police. And the police was not there to cooperate with me. And I asked the police officer, did somebody do something wrong? Because you almost hit some people. And he pulled out his gun and said, get back. So I stepped back and said, is this far enough? I said, officer, you almost hit some people. Could you tell me what went wrong? And then he repeated, am I still on?
Yes, sir. You still here? I'm
Okay.
listening, brother. We listening intently.
And then he said, oh, so you're going to be a smart aide. I'm going to tell you one more time to get back. Now, I'm on the police chief clergy council. They taught us how to handle a police officer if we thought that they was rude. So I said, sir, I need to see your watch commander. I'm minister. At that time, I was Minister Tony Muhammad. And I said, I want your watch commander. He said, I don't care who you are. I'm going to tell you one more time to step back. So I had Chief Bratton's number. So I turned away. Now the FOI and the brothers is starting to move closer to the police to deal with them.
Right.
And so I turned around to call Chief Bratton, and his second in command picked up the phone. And I said, look, man, I'm at a prayer vigil. Your officers is pointing their guns. And I just asked them a question. They won't tell me why they're here. He said, Minister, turn around and get their badge number and name. When I turned to get their badge number and name, they pepper sprayed me and the brothers. And we got into a physical fight. The brothers took me off the scene, hid me in somebody's house. While they're out there fighting the police, we took their weapons and beat the hell out of them.
All praise due
now,
to
the
Allah.
gang members is watching all of this go down. But I'm in the house, and the brothers won't let me out to fight because, in the nation, you're supposed to protect the minister.
Right.
But I want to fight, Brother Donell.
Understood.
I'm thinking the brothers may be getting hurt. Hell, I want to fight.
Exactly.
So I pretended that I had to go to the bathroom. I said, brother, I need to use the bathroom. And I went out the back door. And when I came out, it was so many police officers. And one of the officers knew me. He said, man, this is Minister Muhammad. And I said, Officer Scoggins, can we talk? He said, of course. And he was coming toward me with about 50 riot cops. When he got 10 feet away, they broke rank. He tried to stop them, but they didn't stop. They handcuffed me. I told the brothers, put our hands up, surrender, don't do nothing.
Right.
They grabbed my hands and handcuffed me, took me down to the ground, and the top of my mouth hit the curb, and they started kicking me and beating me. And the gang members started throwing rocks, and they threw me in the back of the police car, and the black police officer with tears in his eyes said, man, this should have never happened. Now, that incident, brother, an hour after I was arrested, the police chief shows up. A lot of clergy showed up. I'm beat up in my face. But there's thousands of people gathering outside of the police station, gang members, mothers who have buried their children. I don't know what's happening outside. Chief Bratton comes and said, man, it's thousands of people outside, and they're chanting, if we don't let you out of here, they're going to tear up the city. But we want to take you to the hospital. I said, no, you don't. Take me outside. I said, because I need to tell the people, they need to see me and see that I'm okay.
Right.
And I need to tell them not to tear up the city because I know you all are waiting to kill them, and I don't want their blood on my hand. And when they took me out the door, brother, it was so many people when they started cheering, it messed me up. It was all on the radio. Minister Muhammad got shot and beat up by LAPD. Gang members, that's what warned me with the gang members, see? That I almost lost my life defending gang members.
Right.
So it went through the black gangs. It went through the Mexican gangs. At my house, it was hundreds of people. So everywhere I went, now I'm being invited to all the hoods, and the brothers gave me a pass, and I became an honorary everything.
Praise
so but that was consistency. That was years.
Understood.
The brothers needed to know, do you really love us?
Right,
and
right.
Those incidents is what endeared me in the hearts of many, as well as entertainers. The
Right.
rappers now, all the rappers are calling me to settle their differences, because they was at each other back in the day through the hip hop music. So
Right,
I
right,
was
right.
blessed and very instrumental in bringing the East Coast and West Coast rappers. We was helping the rappers with the gang members who was extorting them. So the athletes, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Steve Harvey, they're calling me because they're being extorted. And so God bless me, Brother Donald, to just,
Praise be to Allah.
and the one thing that the brothers liked about me, I never tried to act like some highfalutin minister. I just tried to be I tried to just be their brother.
Yes, sir.
I would sit in the park and play backgammon with them. But I had a purpose. So I'm playing backgammon, they cussing and whatnot. And then I would say, hey man, y'all know what's about to go down. What's about to go down, Brother Muhammad? And everybody would get quiet. And I would say, you see these cell towers? They can hear everything y'all saying. Do you see the prison? I'm showing them how the prison industry complex was set up and why. See? So since they wouldn't come to the mosque, when the mountain won't come to Muhammad, Muhammad go to the mountain.
That's right. That's right.
And they would thank me, man, we so appreciate, you telling us this. And I do that in almost every hood I went to. And God bless me, dear brother. And because the homies could feel me. And Brother Donald, the ministers tell us, he said, brother, them brothers in the streets can tell if you're phony.
Right.
And we have it in our teachings, and we say it like this: can you fool a Muslim?
Right.
Not nowadays. And so that's how I did it, brother. I did it by just trying different things. I wanted to be different. Sometimes I didn't take security because the security brothers, I couldn't get the gang members' attention because they kept looking at the security.
Right.
And sometimes our brothers had this mean look, so the brothers didn't want to talk to me.
Right.
Like, man, you bringing them niggas, man, them niggas. Why are you looking at me like that? And I said, brother, look at me. I'm talking to you. Yeah, but why them niggas looking at me like that?
Exactly. Let me ask you this question. Now, when you went to the members by yourself sometime, or even with the group, were you dressed, suited and booted, or sometimes just casual?
Most of the time suited and booted, but a lot of times casual.
Okay.
And then the brothers used to say, man, where's your security? I said, wait a minute, homie, I'm in your hood. You gonna let something happen to me? I said, why don't you post a brother right there? Put a brother, I'm in your hood. That's right. And the brother would say, homie, stand right there, because we ain't gonna let nothing happen to the minister in our hood.
Beautiful.
See, and they would do it.
Yes, sir.
Or sometimes I would have the brothers with me and I make them take off and put on a sweatsuit or a tracksuit.
Right.
Because I had to retrain some of the brothers. We called it social maneuvers. I said, brother, you all can't always walk around me and look like you want to eat bricks. See, sometimes smile at the brothers.
Right.
And also, Brother Donald, I also had to realize that most of the brothers in the mosque in Los Angeles was in a gang.
Ah, gotcha.
So sometimes some of the brothers that's securing me, they're in their ex-enemy's neighborhood.
Wow.
So they get re-stimulated sometimes because now they see cats that they know kill some of their homies.
Right.
And so I had to train the brothers. No, brother, this is a social maneuver, and because, Brother Donald, you just have to play with things. Because I just couldn't be no minister that sit in the mosque all day. I hate that.
Right.
I don't like nobody carrying my bags, man. I got it. I ain't trying. No, brother, I'm your brother.
Right, that brother.
So anyway,
I love it.
I hope that makes some sense.
No, but it makes a whole lot of sense, and it's a contribution to why Allah has blessed you with success, because that's the heart. If we are truly following the example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we ought to be like him. We ought to emulate him.
That's right.
He emulated the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's two things he said in the Swan Song. He talked about the Quran as he was leaving the rostrum, and he said, my example. And that's what the Prophet said to follow my sunnah in the Quran, or follow my example in the Quran. So I mean, that's where we at.
And remember, I started like that. I watched him.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
Brother, I watched him handle white people so great, have them crying.
Yes, sir.
I was with him in Phoenix when Mike Wallace interviewed him, a Jew.
Right.
And we had to stop the camera twice because one of his female staffs kept crying. And the minister, I remember him stopping, asking, what's wrong? And she said, I'm crying because I thought you was a hater. But I'm listening to you. You're not a hater. Mike Wallace said to the minister, I'm gonna go to the rabbis. We gotta stop what we think about you. And the minister said, good luck. See, I watched the minister handle gay people. And he handled them so gingerly, man. They bowed. They started even trying to act right. I said, wow, this man. So that's how I try to be, brother, because the minister told me 2 weeks ago. He said, we too damn judgmental.
Right, right. That self-righteous attitude.
I don't like the self-righteousness that I see. We fell from hell, brother. We grew up out of it. We didn't fall down from no heaven. So stop judging people. He said, anybody that comes into your atmosphere, find God in them, brother, and bow to that part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Brother Stephen, do we have anybody on the line in the chat that would like to ask Brother Minister a question on the theme or anything else they would like to ask that would help them in their path and journey in following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? This brother seems to have a reservoir full of not anecdotal things, but actual fact things that he has actually experienced and experimented with, that Allah has blessed him with success. Anybody on the chat, or do you have any questions for him at this time? And I know you always have some kind of questions in your side pocket. I know.
First, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank you, Brother Malik, because I think one of the first lectures that I saw it was like a rebuttal to Fred Price, who was, saying some things about the minister and the nation. And that video that you did, it was so powerful. I was like, I got to find some more videos about this brother. And so I want to just thank you, brother, for your service, as some always say, because you have definitely been one of those who, as a young FOI soldier that I just watched, and now that you have come on, you've really given some background to why I was watching you, because you're so humble and you connect to your community because you're so genuine, and I thank you for that. I have a question, but we have a guest, a sister, and I'm gonna bring her on, Sister Shawana, I believe. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please forgive me. And go right ahead, sister. I think
tell her to come off of mute.
We have you. You're off mute, but we don't hear you. I'll just leave her up, and maybe if we do hear her, I'll go ahead and just let her ask her question. So my question is that the minister was saying that that this generation that we have right now is the most powerful generation that we've ever produced.
She is up. She is up, brother. Oh, she went back off. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question is, with the hip hop, is that we see a lot of our young people, they're disconnected from the older generation, and they're disconnected from religion. Can you tell us how that plays a role in this day and time?
Yes, sir. Well, they are exactly as the scriptures describe them. Brother, in the Nation of Islam, we believe that 75% of what you read in the Bible is not history. It's prophecy. Because we know the scientists the 24 elders pre-write history 25,000 years in advance. And so scripts didn't start in Hollywood.
Right.
Script started with God, and he's his own casting director. So this is that Joshua generation, because Jesus said these words, all that came before me was robbers and thieves. See, our children have saw a lot of hypocrisy in leadership, a lot of hypocrisy in their parents. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, this is not the what we used to hide and do. This generation do it out in the open.
Right.
Right. That's right.
Then he said, they are so genetically fixed. They got God in them, and when they hear the right voice with the right energy and vibration, see, it says, my sheep knows my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. See, when you come across with the right spirit and you learn to connect with them by not judging them, see, now they ready to hear this guy. Here's what the streets say. I don't want no tell me religion. I don't want no tell me education. I want to show me religion. Show me, homie. See? Because y'all do a lot of talking. I don't want no tell me education, because the man that's trying to teach me business don't even own a business.
Yes, sir.
Why would I go take a class on a businessman teaching me theory and I got a business and he don't? So they want to show me, man. Show me, brother. So the youth is disconnected because we haven't showed them anything.
Right.
We do a lot of talking, but Satan is showing them stuff. And is letting them discover the worst part of themselves. He's showing them the tree of good and evil.
Right.
And that's why the Holy Quran said he's going to make evil fair seeming. But let me say this. Truth behind the right man who's got the right spirit can penetrate all that.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said, they're not asleep, brother. They read you. See? So our youth, they're waiting to hear that right voice, but the voice of God is being suppressed by the satanic forces called media. They won't let Louis Farrakhan be introduced through their platforms because they know if the youth hear him or one of his representatives who's really representing him right, the youth are going to come and running. See?
Yes, sir.
This is why, you know, in the Holy Quran it says, when you see men and women entering the religion in rank, celebrate. So right now, brother, they are wilding out because God is allowing all evil to be drawn out.
Right.
Really, we see a type of purification going on. We just don't know how to view it.
Right.
Why is all this sin? Why is everybody doing whatever they want to do? God is letting it be fleshed out, brother.
Right.
See?
Yes,
This
sir.
generation do in the light what we used to do in the dark because they hate hypocrisy. And if you go to the 7 woes in the book of Matthew, when Jesus was going at the Jewish leadership and religious leaders for being phony and hypocrites. And then he said, suffer the little children unto me, because they didn't want to be a part of the hypocrite leadership. See? So when we stop being phony, brother.
Right.
When we stop getting in front of people as if we are closer to God than they are.
Right.
When people come to me and ask me, will you pray for me? I say no. No. They get shocked. I said, pray for yourself. Who told you I'm closer to God than you are? I said, in fact, I might be a devil. You have a direct connect. See, when you start getting people off of you and allowing them to see the God within them, Jesus said these words, the kingdom that you've been looking for is within you.
Right.
This Joshua generation hates phony. They don't like phonies. This is why they love a Louis Farrakhan.
Right.
This is why they are attracted to many members in the Nation of Islam. Because we don't come across phony, dear brother. You know, and at the right time, which we are about to see, because this man whom was raised to get our youth, he is about to go into Palestine and Jerusalem on an ass called Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See? That's going to be a Palm Sunday-like experience this year.
Yes, sir.
See? What Jesus was seeing riding into Palestine. Now, you know, the Detroit area is the largest area of Palestinians.
Right.
And you see what's happening in Palestine, and you know we launched a lawsuit against the ADL and the Simon Wiesenthal for the misuse of the word anti-Semite and anti-Semitism.
Yes, sir.
So now that the minister is bold enough to sue the Jews, and now many in the Jewish community saying they're seeing a rise in anti-Semitism. No, you're seeing a rise and people don't like what you're doing.
Right.
And now this Savior's Day, he's about to speak out into what's going on in Palestine. But there's a Palestine in America. And many of them are going to say, Hosanna, Farrakhan. But after that speech, could it be that the minister will be arrested for sedition?
Right.
What's going to happen? The Hosanna may turn into crucify him, because then they're going to lie on the minister and the nation saying, you know, in Islam, he teach shirk, he teach God as a man.
Right.
So are we going to get bombed like Palestine? But the bombs that's going to hit the nation is going to be the lies coming from CNN, ABC, NBC, and CBS. The youth have not heard the right voice. If they could hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother, you'll see a whole different story going on in the hood. Let me tell you what the gang members told me why they love Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And they told him in a meeting, one of the gang members stood up and said, man, we love you so much. They called the minister Big Homie. They said, we love you so much, Big Homie. Said, now, I ain't in the nation right now, but Brother Farrakhan, if you even slip and hurt yourself thinking about the enemy who wants to do something to you, we gonna go off and kill them all. And the minister's so beautiful, brother. He said, no, brother. I'm not asking you to kill anybody. My job is to give everybody a way out, even the white man. See? I mean, this is the love. And if they have, and you know, the enemy see how the youth respond to the minister the same way they saw how he responded to Jesus. See? So they don't want them. The youth is out of rhythm because they're being denied the Son.
That's right. That's
and
right.
the Son of Man. And in my humble opinion, the Son of Man in our midst is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I'm doing everything I can to unblock and to pull the veil that the enemies is trying to put over the minister, pull it off so the people can get some light, brother.
Yes, sir.
It's about to change, my dear brother. You about to see something gonna blow your mind after they lie, and the earth is gonna swallow the flood.
Yes, sir.
And a chastisement is gonna hit America, brother. She gonna lose.
All right.
All the way. All the way.
She gonna lose. And our people are gonna run to us. But the question is, are we ready for them?
Right.
Good question.
How are we gonna handle the homeless when they run to us? What do we got?
Yes, sir.
How are we gonna handle killers? How are we gonna handle the lesbians that's gonna come?
Right.
Are we gonna be self-righteous? How are we gonna handle the homosexual men who want to have a FOI uniform?
Right.
See?
Yes, sir.
I can't wait till they come, because if I'm being a God and I'm being like God, I don't care what he's trying to be. When he meets God, he's going to want to be himself. When she meets God, they're going to want to be themselves. So
Yes, sir.
in one sense, it's a good thing that the youth is out of control because they ain't listening to nobody. Because everything in front of them is hypocrisy.
Right.
And even in the nation, I'm watching us cleanse. We have to self-improve.
Ain't no question.
See? And that's why the minister gave us the study guides, because that's him auditing us. The price of redemption. Why we have to have humility. My intimate relationship with Rob Billy, all I mean. No, man. And so I just, you know, thank him, you know. And he gave me my name because of what Allah has blessed me to do. And he told me what that name means. Abdul, Malik, Sayyid. He cried when he saw what we did after the murder and how we honored that young brother, and the whole hoods came and dropped their rags at my feet. And the minister said he couldn't stop crying. He said, I begged Allah to give me a name to give you. And he said, you are Abdul Malik. He said, but not Malik the king. No, you are like Malik in the prayer. Malik Yom Madim. He said, Malik was the one, the angel who used the law of recompense to settle people's differences. That's what you've been doing all your life. Sayyid is one in whom the people put their trust in. They trust Sayyid. And he said,
Beautiful.
brother, that's what you do. That's what we do as a nation.
Right.
And that's why I'm so glad to be in the classroom with Brother Donell, man, and the Nuris. And I mean, we all we got. We can't have no envy, no jealous among each other, man. I'm just glad I got a piece of the Jesus to give. Because all of us just got a piece.
Right.
But when we come together, we have the whole book. So I'm sorry for being long-winded.
No,
Did I
no,
answer your
no.
question, brother?
That was what.
That was beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to hear. That's why we asked the questions, and most certainly Allah's put it on your heart to. And I'm just so thankful that you have it. You know, you've done so much and over so many years. It's a blessing that you can go all the way back and pull up them kind of details.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you lived it, right? And
Come
you don't
on, dear
forget
brother.
it because
That's
you
right.
lived it. Yeah, you
That's
lived
right.
it. So you ain't got to make nothing up. You just call it back up.
Yes, sir.
Did sister
Yes,
get back
sir.
on the line?
Let's see if we'll go ahead and go right ahead, sister. You'll have to unmute yourself. Let's see if she's ready.
All righty. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, all praises to Allah. Hello,
All praises
hello.
due to Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I was praying so hard. I said, Allah, please let this mic work. Okay, so I'm going to be quick because I was praying really hard, right? And I'm super excited to be here.
While our
First of
sister,
all,
Brother
I
Don,
just
I want to say to you while I have you, because sometimes, brother, we don't know when Allah going to call us in.
Yes, sir.
As I look at my experience in the nation and all of the cities that I've been to, me and my wife, I want you to know in your city, if I have to say in the top 5, in terms of how I was treated, you and the believers in your city is in the top 3 cities that I'll always remember.
Yes, sir. All
Because of the
praise
way
due to Allah.
you and the believers treated me, the energy that was there. My wife and I never forgot the experience, brother.
All praises due to
I
Allah.
wanted to say at this time, I just want to say to you, thank you.
And thank you
Thank
for
you,
accepting thank you for continuing to be my brother. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Go ahead, sister.
Go right ahead.
Amen. Amen. Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. All right. So one thing I wanted to say, first of all, I've heard so
Dear
much
sister, are you
about you.
on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you
Go
hear?
ahead.
Can you hear the sister? I'm not sure, but
I can't hear her.
Or you can't hear her.
oh,
Okay.
he can't hear her. Okay.
Hmm.
Let me see. I don't know. Well, Sister, do you have the
Well, I
question?
did, I did,
And if
I did type in some of the questions, but I can just say it again. I know it'll be recorded. However,
okay,
what two of the things I wanted to say, one of the things was
and I'll
first that I had heard tons of things about him from one of his believers from LA, Brother Remus Muhammad, is while I'm even a part of all of this. So I want to thank Allah for that connection. I wanted to say about the conversion of our people, and I like to use extension of education because coming from the Christian community, when we hear that, it makes us feel as if you're
she's
asking us
about
to
to
put
ask.
down one God and pick up another one. So, you know, I since I've been talking to people, I know that that one pretty much works to hold people's
Hmm.
attention. And my question to him is, I get it. And he said that you have to be, some people are born with a special kind of heart. I really understand that. But my question is,
Hmm.
outside of the believers that we're trying to get, you know, to come and hear the minister and all of that, what about the believers that are already here? How do we get the believers
Okay.
that are here, the ones that have already taken a stand for the front line, right? To be
Hmm.
able to help us bring in people or to receive them, to make sure that their hearts are in
Can you hand
a
me the thing?
clean
Because
and
my
clear
thing is.
place. So I'll land there.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Brother Stephen, repeat her questions if you can.
Okay. Her question is outside of those, and I believe you were saying those who are outside of the nation, but those who are inside, what exactly are you asking about as far as those who are inside the nation?
How do we, you know, because me myself, you know, having certain kinds of experiences, I want to make sure that the people that are already are in position, how do we know that they're still, and I know it's hard to figure it out, but we need to make sure that the soldiers and the people that we already have in place, that they are having
Hmm.
a clear heart and a kind heart to receive the new believers.
So,
How are
so,
we going to make
mhm.
sure that that's what they're doing on the front line?
Okay. So she
I
wants to
heard her. I
know
could hear
how.
her now. I
Okay.
could hear.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Yes, sir. Go right ahead, brother.
I mean.
Well, thank you, sis. You know, Allah says in the Holy Quran sometimes, well, before I say what Allah says, sometimes, dear sister, we want people that's in front of us, that's leading us to be perfect, and they should be as good as they're able to be. And once you are standing in front of the people, the minister say, you're in the spotlight, brother.
Yes,
So
sir.
all of your spots and some of your rawness and wrongness, the people will see.
Mhm.
But it's how you adjust to it.
Mhm.
He said, listen to your critics. Because the critics will have some aspects of truth, but they don't know you all the way. He said, because our people are very judgmental, particularly when it comes to black leadership. And and so he said, you got to be ready to take plenty. You got to listen to your critics because your critics will help you to work out some flaws in your character.
Yes,
Mm.
sir. Yes, sir.
What I say to people, don't look for perfect in people. You're not going to find it. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is perfect. But those of us in the nation, particularly me, and those of us in leadership, we are as sick as the people we're trying to help because we're struggling with our demons too.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
But it don't mean you misuse people or you neglect people. Sometimes Allah will place you under people that you may have better abilities than. But do you have humility?
Mm.
See? So Allah says in the Holy Quran, if you were angels, I would have sent you an angel.
Right.
Sometimes I may send you somebody that rubs you the wrong way. Steel sharpens steel, see? You cannot get clothes clean. in a washing machine without an agitator.
Mm.
Now, you can throw the clothes in the water, put soap in it, put bleach in it, but it don't agitate, and pull them off and put them on. They are not clean. Sometimes it takes people to rub you the wrong way to help you to bring out character you didn't know was in you. I don't say this, sister, to support any bad leadership. No. I heard Minister Farrakhan one time say, well, brother, bad leadership is better than no leadership at all.
Mm.
And the mosque in the Nation of Islam, when people join the nation, I always say these words to them. I said, brother and sister, you have joined a group of sick people. All of us are in a mental and spiritual hospital, and the teachings is constantly cleaning us. Do not look for perfect in the people, not even me. I may do something. You may one day catch me deviating in my faith. You may see me smoking a cigarette or weed or drinking alcohol. Don't blame the nation. Don't blame the teaching. I just got weak.
Mm. Come on, brother. Beautiful.
See, there's some members in the nation who's been abused.
Mm.
We got sisters and men who's been raped, and they're still in a little pain, and they may even get up in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I have gang members who are around me who've killed people that don't know how to say I love you. They'll say, you all right. I take that from a killer who tell me I'm all right. That's him telling me I love you, because he don't know how to do it. We have to be
Beautiful, brother.
patient, dear sisters, sometimes with the people in leadership. Sometimes, this is why I say to people, keep your eye on Farrakhan. He won't disappoint you. See? I say to the people, look at the teachings and then look up at the people. Study it. And then look at me and tell me if I'm off or am I on. See?
Yes, sir.
And I leave it like this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, what you see going on in the world, brother, God is getting ready to clean up and sit down all tyrants. I'm going to say that again.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't care if it's a mother and a father who are tyrants over their children. God going to set them down. See? So if a minister in the nation or at the church or at the synagogue or Black Panther or Black Hebrew, if they are wicked leadership, they will be set down. Just be patient. Don't you stop working. Don't you stop doing good because people ain't doing right. You keep doing good, see? And in Allah's good time, he's going to remove all of that leadership from in front of you. But be careful. Because sometimes Allah may give you the position of leadership and you could be mistreated so bad that the next thing you know, let me say this about me. I used to be very negative towards certain leadership. I came out of college, so I thought I was a little highfalutin, and I used to kind of misjudge. And then I became one of the leaders of the mosque, and I found myself mistreating people just like I was mistreated. I became the very thing I didn't like. And when the minister gave this study, guys, I had to look at myself again and say, oh my God, I became the very thing I didn't like. And I went before the people to confess. See? And you got to have forgiveness in your heart, because he or she who cannot forgive cannot be forgiven. And then you got to be the kind, like Paul said, he gave us the remedy for love. Look at what he said about love. If you really love, love does not keep account of wrong. See? Love is long suffering. Love is patient. See? Love don't puff up itself like everybody else is messed up and I'm right. No. The Bible says it like this. There is none righteous, dear sister. No, not one. And when I read the Quran, this scares me more than the Bible. Allah says in the Holy Quran, if I were to try man or woman for their sins, not one soul would be left alive. But we was reduced to niggas, sister, 300 and some odd years of this cracker beating us down and destroying who we were as original people. We got to get rid of the niggerdom that we have grown accustomed to that's in our very cell. So the mosque is a hospital. We're walking around with the intravenous needle in our robe on with our backside out. Be patient. Be patient with leadership. But if you see something wrong, speak out to it in the right spirit. Brother, sister, may I speak to you? Now, I'm reading the teachings, and it's from what I see, you're not right. You mistreated that person. Because Allah do not want his people mistreated, sis.
That's right.
And I think with your kind of spirit, with that kind of energy, just by you saying it, it's in the atmosphere now. And if you be patient, and if we ain't so beat down by being mistreated, because sometimes the very person that's mistreating you might try to turn around and ask for forgiveness. And if you're not in the right spirit, you might not accept it. Well, I didn't feel that. See, now you done took on a self-righteous position. And I'm not saying you, sister, I love your question. I see it all the time. I've seen it in myself. And that's why we say in our prayer, listen at how we were told to pray. See? Oh Allah, I confess my fault. So grant me protection against other people. No, grant me protection against my faults. See, we started off by saying, I have been greatly unjust to who?
Myself.
It didn't say the leadership have been unjust to me. My prayer make me to say, I have been greatly, when I read that prayer and I studied, I said, oh my God. Because all of us got personalities in our head that's unjust. I said, wow, if I can't give myself justice, how am I going to expect justice from somebody on the outside? Then it says, I confess my faults. Most of us won't confess our faults. Then the prayer said, grant me protection against all my faults. I said, oh my God, my biggest enemy is already inside of me. If I can murder that enemy, then going to a misguided person in leadership is easy. But I better go humble. I better go not judgmental. I'm not your judge. I just want to point something out to you. And you can do it in such a spirit, sister, that person will straighten out. See? Just be patient. Speak out into it if you can. And don't become the very thing that you hate. Have to be careful. Because sometimes you can be under oppression for so long, you become just like the oppressor. And this is what I say to the gang members. I say, brother, what's the difference between you and the KKK? Nothing. He hates the black man and you do too. He killed niggas and so do you. See? So be patient with the leadership. Many of us has never been tried with having a little power. So sometimes we get drunk. So I hope, sister, I hope, I heard it. I heard your pain. I've been there. Hold on.
She in the background, she's saying, typing in amen. She typed it in twice.
Oh, yes,
So,
yes, sister.
yes, sir.
And
Beautiful.
let me tell you something. If you see it, you are the one born to correct it. I hope you're ready for your assignment.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you.
We have another question. We have a brother Rodney. I'll bring him on. Go ahead, brother Rodney.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brother.
Wa
I,
alaikum salam.
I first have a comment. I want to thank you for your time and your service. I used to be a cross-country truck driver, and I had an open-ended travel letter, and Mr. Donell's instructions to me was, every city I go into, check in with the minister. And I remember when I came to LA and I handed you that travel letter, you read it and a grin came across your face and you said, Brother Donell. You said, how is my brother? And you showed me so much love that all these years later, I still remember.
Wow.
I just
Wow.
thank you.
That's only because you knew me. That's, other than that, he would have slapped you upside your head, boy. No, I'm messing with you, Rodney.
Hey, brother, right now I was trying to pay a debt that I owed for the good treatment you all gave to me and my wife. So that was me paying back a debt, brother.
Well, I'm honored and humbled to have been a recipient of that payment. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you,
the
sir.
question I have, you're quite welcome, brother. No, thank you. But the question that I have actually came from Brother Timothy Muhammad from off our YouTube channel, and he asked, "How is the rise and influence of drill music being used as an instrument of deception and destruction to the black youth?"
Mm. How is the rise and influence of what kind of music?
Drill music. Is it the form of
DRILL, drill music.
I don't know. I'm sorry, dear brother. I have a misunderstood on that word. I don't know what the definition of drill music is.
It's a
If
form of rap music that's actually worse than the gangster rap that NWA came up with.
And if
I'm
I
sorry.
can just
If somebody
veggie
can
back.
give me the definition of it, maybe I can talk into it.
Okay. So if I can just veggie back in onto that question, and we're talking about the music industry and their manipulation or their social engineering and manipulating our young men to go to war with each other, and also manipulating our women to see themselves as nothing but sex objects. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. See, Satan is no fool. Satan knows the power of God. And if you read the Bible, listen at what God say, or listen at what Jesus say about God. He said, in the beginning was the Word.
Right.
Words got power. See? So if words have power and you manipulate the words behind a beat, see? And when you manipulate the word behind the beat and the beat plays, or through the vibration of the beat, it tantalizes certain aspects of the mind and open your mind up to things that consciously you wouldn't listen to, but because it's behind this beat.
That's the drill. That's the drill right there.
That's
the
right.
drill.
That's right. That's the drill, just like on these things they call UFOs that we know to be wheels. They have
Right.
3 bombs on them that has a drill in it.
Yes, sir.
See? Music in Hollywood, all of it now. Do you know, brother, that they are using the science of hypnosis?
Mm.
Do you
Come
know
on.
how a hypnotist hypnotize you? Look at what they do. They have to lower your consciousness first before they can hypnotize you.
Right.
They put this thing and say, go to sleep. See? Lower your consciousness or get you high. So the youth are high and they're listening to music. Their consciousness is lowered. And so now I'm putting command phrases in you. See? And then I'm glorifying it. I'm making sure you make a lot of money being what the rappers are saying for you to be.
Right.
Remember, there are many artists, and I remember when many and some of the artists came to the minister and told him that there was a meeting in Hollywood or outside of Hollywood at one of the moguls, one of these record labels' home. And they had Homeland Security and the CIA was in this meeting. Is when the record labels was getting ready to open up prisons.
Come on.
And they said these words: we can't have no prisons without prisoners. And in order to fill up all of these prisons, we got to make sure that somebody is committing crimes. Here comes social engineering, as my brother said.
Yes, sir.
Because the youth are not following preachers. They're not following leadership. They're following idols. So we're also dealing with the same problem that Abraham had when he had to disabuse the people of talking to statues and stones. These statues and stones are called our artists.
Right.
People will listen to Jay-Z before they listen to Creflo Dollar or T.D. Jakes. See? So, brother, this drill music, it is a part of the hypnotic trick.
Yes, sir.
Because many of our artists, they are being used as scapegoats.
Right.
See?
Right.
And you know, brother, Hollywood is controlled by the Jewish industry.
Right.
They control that. And they know that if we wake up, they will lose their power over us. So, yes, sir, it is drill music. Because they saw what conscious hip-hop was doing when they were sampling Minister Farrakhan. Many of the conscious hip-hop, KRS-One, Public Enemy, Kool Moe Dee, they was educating the youth. We was wearing the African medallions, y'all remember, and the kufi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See? Farrakhan is a prophet that I think you all, the 5% nation who had the teachings was teaching it, and they saw our people waking up, and they saw rap music wasn't going nowhere. So they said, let us weaponize the rap music. Now, rap music is a weapon.
Yes, sir. It most certainly is.
So you one of the things like we mentioned. Yep, we can hear you. Yes, sir. We can still see you. Can you hear us all right?
Yes, sir. You're still on.
Can you hear us?
Your picture's freezing up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. I think it's probably just maybe a bad connection, but we can definitely
I'm still here. I can see you.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
We might have to.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
sir. Let's see. We might have to.
I can see them.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But you can't hear us?
Let me see if we can get him to sign off and sign back on.
We're going to sign you off and sign you back on.
I can't hear you.
I'll text him and let him know.
Okay, yeah, text him and then we'll do it.
All right. We'll be, I'll take him off real quick.
All right, go ahead. And then bring him, and then text him real quick.
There we go. Okay.
Now bring him back on. In the meantime, I'll entertain us. See my Sayyid, see my channel.
Right. But I'm glad, that he definitely went into those topics,
Yeah, because that's
sure.
Well, so we don't want to just talk the talk. We want to have a conversation for something, information we can use. There you are, my brother. See you very clearly now. Sometimes you got to go off these things and come back on, man. It's crazy.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us?
Well, I hear you now, loud and clear.
Yes,
man, brother. Y'all, I'm having, man, this is so heavy. But
I'm just glad you shared it. You gave us stuff. We're not just having a conversation, but you're actually giving us stuff that we can use.
Yeah, man. I think we was talking about the artist, and I don't know if y'all heard me when I was talking about the artist was called to a meeting. Many of our top artists.
Yes.
And some of the artists, I think a couple of the Wu-Tang members are bearing witness because they was at this meeting.
Yes, sir.
And they was told by the Interscopes, by the Sony Records, headed up by Jewish people,
Right.
that they was going into the prison business and they needed their help. This is why now my son is a rap artist. But anytime my son try to write conscious lyrics, they won't let that through.
Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say when we was getting having some issues there, is that not only have they banned the minister because of his, because of his magnetic attraction, but they've also banned conscious rap. I mean, there are conscious rappers out there, but they don't get that airplay.
Oh,
Right.
no, sir. Not the woke. See, they can't play the woke generation.
No, sir.
Because remember, they win on our ignorance. See? And whoever would come to try to free black people would be an enemy of the satanic Jewish forces. And
Yes,
this
sir.
is something we didn't see because no one really told us who Satan was until the minister stood up.
Right. Right.
See? They hate
Yeah, we
what
do.
we're talking about right now, brother, because
Yes,
our
sir.
generation is waking up to who they are.
Yes,
Kanye
sir.
West, Kyrie Irving. They just said, watch a documentary, and they call him anti-Semitic. Because, Herod feared the rise of a Messiah
Right.
in a city, Bethlehem, that he was Lord over Bethlehem.
Right.
Herod was a Jewish Caesar.
Right.
And he said he was king. And when the wise men told him, oh, no, you're not the one, he got upset and he sent a decree to kill all children 2 years old and under in that area called Bethlehem. Now, most of our people don't even know the definition of Bethlehem.
Come on.
See, we think it's a city. No, it ain't just a city. The word Bethel means house of God. The root meaning, Bethel.
Right.
Ham or him means black or burnt. So when you put those two words together, Herod was looking for the Messiah to come out of the house of a black God. And this is why Solomon said, I am black. Come ye, O daughters of Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
God has always come out of the house of black people. We are the first of his creation in terms he made and fashioned us out of black mud in his image.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We don't even know, brother, we are direct descendants, but those who have murdered us, those who have oppressed us, they know who we are, and they have been our foster parents, and they knew that our daddy was going to come looking for us.
Yes, sir.
And J. Edgar Hoover, he used that exact terminology.
He's a modern day Herod. I'm teaching on him right now because he feared the rise of a black Messiah.
Right.
And he said we have to disrupt any black man who can unite the black masses. We have to disrupt him. We have to make him wrong. We have to even attack those who try to support him. Hoover said that.
That's part of COINTELPRO.
Alex is still a part of COINTELPRO, brother.
Right.
Under
Yes,
under a different name.
So this enemy has weaponized the music, the food, and the medicine, and the atmosphere. Everything now is a weapon, brother. See? He's trying to vaccinate everybody because in that vaccine is a killer.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the music, everything he promotes to us is a death style, not a lifestyle. He's got everybody committing suicide slowly because he's made evil fair seeming. They're forcing homosexuality on our children who haven't even developed no concept of being a man or a woman, but they're telling them at 3 and 4 years old. And now I'm having to re-educate my own grandchildren because they are confused.
Right.
They at work, brother. They not playing.
Yes, sir.
And that just brings to mind, something that we read right out of the Holy Quran, that Iblis is saying that, can you go into a little bit and connect those to what Iblis said to Allah once he was respited?
Yeah. He said to Allah, respite me
Mm.
till the day that they are raised. Then he said to him, when I get through with them, you're not going to find any of them thankful. He said, look, I'm going to turn these Negroes upside down. He said, I'm going to come from in front of them and from behind them. I'm going to come up on their left side and on their right side. I'm going to have them thinking I'm you and you me. And then God said, hey, all who follow you, I'll fill hell with you all. See? So what is he going to use?
Mm.
He's using music, and he's making sure he's paying these rap artists who ain't never been no gangsters.
Right.
He's paying the sisters to rap about little girls getting on poles and stripping and getting pornography. He's making it fair seeming.
Right.
See? And then not only that, dear brother, he makes them real big.
Mm-hmm.
He makes them big artists. They now winning Grammys,
Right.
telling girls to disrespect men, that they're glorifying pimping, they're glorifying taking drugs. Here's a rap female telling girls, I used to be a prostitute. I made 18 racks. Ain't nothing wrong with prostituting. Here our girls go out there getting prostituted and getting trapped in sex trafficking because of some artists who told them to go shake their behind. Oh, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yes, sir.
weaponize him. And then our children, our rappers are like the Pied Pipers because they don't hear no strong spiritual voices, or strong spiritual voices is being blocked from them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is about to be tore down. So yes, I get it now.
Praise
I
be
get
to
the
Allah.
drill, you know?
Yes.
But let me say this. Rap music is going, conscious rap is coming back.
Oh, ain't no
Yes,
doubt.
sir.
Some of the top
No doubt.
artists is getting ready to put something on Satan. They
Praise
sick
be
of it
to
too.
Allah. Yes.
Sir.
And that's what the minister said. Allah gonna let you sin until you get sick of it.
Yes.
He told the rappers, your blood is gonna run up to the horses right up by your hand until you get sick of it and know you gotta stop killing your brother.
Mm.
And
Thank
Allah
you,
is
brother.
getting ready to break the bank of America because he's gonna destroy the dollar.
Mm.
Right.
Absolutely. We have, I know we're close. We have one other person that would love to ask you a question. If we could just
Please.
bring them on. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Brother
No.
Marcel, go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Salam alaikum, brother Abdul,
Man,
Malik,
wa
Sayyid,
alaikum
Muhammad.
salam, brother Marcel.
It's good to see you again, soldier.
And it's good to be
Um,
synced.
when I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and when I first met you, brother, it was at the dinner, brother Abdul Imam Muhammad had invited me over to dinner, and you came over, and I remember you was like, who is this young brother right here? And they had to let you know that he's 50 years old at that time.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
remember. Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. And but the question I have, brother, I loved it when I was out there in the Western region with the brothers out there. Went to LA a few times. The brothers from LA came to Phoenix a few times to secure the minister at the National House. But I'll never forget when the minister did the Criterion lecture. And you went to the farm. And when you came back, we had our FOI online call. Remember, we were still on the Zoom and the conference
Yeah.
call. And brother, you said that particular night, you would always close out the FOI chat. And you said, brothers, I just came back from headquarters and that you had sat at the feet of the Messiah for almost 5 hours as the minister just spoke and lectured. And you said you had taken extensive notes and you blessed us for about 20 minutes with some of those notes. I still got them to this day. And I always said to myself, man, I pray that brother Abdul Malik Sayyid one day puts those notes down in a book or something, at the supping at the feet of the Messiah, something to that effect. And I just want to put that thought out there, brother, because if Allah's blessed you with to hear that word from the Messiah himself, you know, have you ever even given that a thought or considered it, my brother? And assalamu alaikum.
You just messed me up, man.
Yes, sir. Come on, brother.
In a good way, because let me say, after Nipsey Hussle was murdered, and the minister came to LA, and he watched how the people responded to us. He called me up to the hotel, dear brother. Look, and that's what I'm saying. Look at what he said to me. He said, brother, you got 5 books in you. He said it again. You, brother, got 5 books in you. You need to write them. He said, just your history, what you went through as a child, you need to write a book on that. Leading up to all the things that happened to you, you need to write a book about your college experience. Then you need to write a book about what happened to you when you joined the nation, both good and bad. Write a book. Then he said, you need to write a book about how you evolved to leadership and how I sent you to LA. You never was a minister over a mosque, and you're the only, there's been no minister to last in LA longer than 7 to 10 years, and you've been there now for nearly 30 years. You need to write a book on how did Allah bless you to win the streets of LA. He said, and if you can't write it, get somebody and tell the story, but they're going to have to love you so that they don't mix up your words. Then he said, you need to write a book about your fall in the nation and how even Scientology, how that helped you.
Powerful.
See? So you're just reminding me on something that I have not carried out, and you're making me feel bad. Because he told, it's hard, brother, you know, because I don't really see myself. I just do what I do. You know, I see a lot of people writing books, you know, but it's like, you know, I'm still telling my story. But I want to thank you because you really brought that back to the forefront of my mind. And maybe 6 months ago, I had reached out for some ghost writers who called me, but I didn't call them back. So thank you for jogging my memory. And I'm going to do better. And I'm going to try this year. If I don't do nothing but start my memoirs, I'm going to start putting that in paper to write those books that the minister said was in me. So, yes, sir, I have heard that. Even in LA sometimes, even, brother, you need to write a book. Gang members, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a book. But thank you. I'm going to do my best. Because, you know, the Jesus of 2,000 years ago, Brother Donell, we know how we're taught that what you read about the Jesus in the New Testament, many of that did not happen 2,000 years ago.
Right.
The Jesus of 2,000 years ago didn't have no disciples.
Right.
He taught no more than 35 to 36 people at a time.
Exactly.
Because he realized he was 2,000 years ahead of his time.
Right.
See? So who was this Jesus that had these disciples? Here we are. And when I say disciples, I'm not just talking about his ministers. Every member in the Nation of Islam is a disciple.
Right.
See? So we got to write our testament. So I thank you, Brother Marcel, man. You got me. You got me. All right. I'm a double salute. Give me a few months. And inshallah, I'll get back with you on that. But brothers, I mean, really, I thank you all. I got to jump on another interview.
Yes, sir.
But Brother Donell, this touched me, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do a lot of interviews. I have to have the spirit to do interviews because I don't like jumping on everybody's interview. I don't let anybody. I don't let anybody interview me.
Yeah,
because I'm
understood.
not anxious to trying to be known. If it ain't,
Yes,
if
sir.
I don't feel it's real, I don't get on them. My wife will
Yeah,
tell you.
all praises due to Allah. Yes, sir.
See,
Well,
because
thank
I
you.
like to do the work.
Right.
But you, brother, and having this, I'm really touched. I'm almost moved to tears with the
Praise
book
be
thing the
to
brother
Allah.
just brought up in
Yes,
a
sir.
good way.
Yes, sir.
And to our brother who owned this live stream, man, thank you, brother. To know that one of us got something like this,
Yes, sir.
damn.
He been busy with it too, brother.
That man, we got our own. I mean, we need our own Black NN, Black News
There you go.
Network.
There you go. There you go.
To know that you got a platform like this that we can build, that we can invite people to, that we can let people know that it exists. I'm thankful and I'm grateful. And I thank you all for having me on. I pray that I was blessed to say something that touched some listener to want to do better to help Black people. You cannot help Black people if you won't be patient with Black people.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Brother Donald, may Allah bless you out of his abundance of mercy. May he bless you out of his abundance of spirit. And may Allah soothe your soul to let you know that men like you have contributed to the motion of building a new civilization, even if we never live to see it.
All
Brother
praises due to
Donald,
Allah.
me and you can say, my God, I contributed to that motion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See?
All praises due to Allah.
And the
Yes, sir.
minister said, all of you who helped me, your names will be wrote down in books that will be read forever.
Praise
Good
be.
God Almighty.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, dear brother. May Allah
Thank
bless
you,
you
brother, for
and your
accepting.
listening audience. Assalamu
Yeah.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right,
All
brother
right.
Stephen.
Yes, sir. And I just want to, reiterate. Well, I don't know if that's the proper word, but just as he was, Brother Marcel was asking our brother to write that book, you also
Yeah, I was told to do the same thing. You're correct.
need to write that book for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, brother Marcel came by when he first started coming around and did a interview, but the circumstances have to be right for you to even speak into that. But he did a pretty good job, but we got to go back over it, tighten it up. But you're correct, brother. Yeah, I got to get on it too. I've been putting it off. I've been given several programs where you can just free flow, and then it'll help you organize the way it should be. And I haven't gotten on one. It's still on my other computer, my other Mac. And then we did this program with what they call ghostwriters. But most of these guys want you to, they'll give you this long presentation, and they want you to pay them some big money. And I'm not going through all that when I can do it myself. But I got to have it. Because everybody's not a writer. Yeah.
I can try to help out the best way possible.
I know you can help me.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else that know how to put it together. Yes, sir. All right. I'll keep in touch. We'll get going.
So we definitely would love to have our brother on again, because there's a lot of questions that I had, but I wanted to let those who are watching the program that next week we're going to have the author of, I believe, I forget the exact title and I should have had it in front of me, but she wrote a book on the failure of integration, Sister Lorraine Muhammad, and we're going to have her on next week. So those of you who have questions about integration and separation, and even maybe the elections and what's going on, we definitely want you all to come on back next week. And with that, brother student minister, I guess we'll go ahead and close it on out, unless you have anything else that you would like to share.
Brother, just want to thank you for your consistency and your constancy, and may Allah continue to bless you to grow and evolve, and bless your family, brother, with protection and with blessings and growth. I'm not going to stay on afterwards, so when you close it out, I'm gone.
Okay, yes, sir.
I'm getting to that bowl of beef that you talked about earlier.
Me too, as soon as I get off. But let me close it on out. Thank you, beloved.
So like
So, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you for watching once again. My Walk with Jesus as a Muslim. We want you to come back every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we bring on guests who talk about, current events from the nation's point of view or aspect. So with that, and also it's an interactive program. So if you would like to come on and ask your question to the guests, you're free to do that. So with that, may God continue to bless you and your family with the light of truth and understanding. Stay close to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because as you all know that we are heading into really perilous times. And so with that, Assalamu alaikum.